So Ukraine's President Zelensky addressed Congress virtually from Kyiv earlier today, and members of Congress gave the president a standing ovation. Now, after his speech, where he drew parallels between the war in Ukraine, Pearl Harbor, and 9/11, the president made a series of requests, including implementing a no-fly zone over Ukraine. He also asked for more fighter planes and aid and demanded that all U.S. companies in Russia pull out of the country immediately. Now, switching to English, Zelensky singled out President Biden specifically. Watch.
I'm addressing the President Biden. You are the leader of the nation, of your great nation. I wish you to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace. Thank you. Slava Ukraini.
Okay, so he ended it with glory to Ukraine. What did you think of his demands? What do you think what are we going to do?
Listen, I really respect this man, first and foremost. I want to put that out there. But to put the United States under that microscope, I don't know if I like it, right? That's pushing us into World War III. We don't know what's going on behind the curtain. Are they doing things to the U.S., maybe sending supplies, maybe doing something else that the whole world doesn't know about? I sure hope so. But I wish he would call on the people of Europe first, maybe the Western allies. There's planes in Poland that we have that are available right now. But Poland is passing the buck to us, saying, you guys give them those planes, because they don't want to get involved either. So everyone's kind of passing the buck to the U.S., saying, hey, it's up to you guys. It's not up to us. We just got out of Afghanistan. We're not sending soldiers over to Ukraine, in my mind, anymore. I'm sure we're doing things, like I said, behind the curtain, but call on the people of Europe first, and then if they start complying and start bringing their troops over, then we can have a conversation openly with the world. But to put us under that microscope, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I look at the no-fly zone and people are kind of going back and forth about whether we should implement that. The no-fly zone is going to be a quick route to, like, starting a war. Because once somebody crosses the no-fly zone, now it's like if I draw a line in the sand and say, Jeff, don't cross that, and you cross it, well, now something has to happen. Either I've shown that I'm not going to proceed any further, or now we have to have a conflict. And I understand the U.S.'s position. I think this is the first time, at least in my lifetime, where I have not heard one person, just in my personal life, saying let's get involved, because we all know that you just don't get in and get out of any situation like this. It's going to be decades. It's going to be injured soldiers coming home, dead soldiers coming home, financial costs, what's going to go over nuclear weapons. It's a Pandora's box, Erica.
This is just it's a tragic situation in any scenario, right? Because one thing that Zelensky said about, he likened it to Pearl Harbor. He likened it to 9/11. And I think that was so important for people, especially in this country, to think about what impact that made on our lives, on society, to empathize in that way. There's this thing that's going around social media, and it's saying, basically, if you want to know what you would have done during the civil rights movement or during the Holocaust or all of these atrocities, it's what you're doing right now. And right now, we're having these conversations, and it's like there are human beings who are at risk, who are dying, who are, victims of war, of the most inhumane actions thought of, and I just struggle with this conversation.
I know, it's tough. I just want to read a quote from him, because you just mentioned, you mentioned the civil rights movement. When you said that, I thought of this quote. This is what Zelensky said in his speech. I have a dream. These words are known to each of you, speaking to the American people and to Congress. I have a need. I need to protect our skies. I need your help, which means exactly the same words you feel when you hear, I have a dream. That is powerful. What did you think about his look? We're not used to seeing presidents of countries not in a suit. You saw him, you commented on it earlier.
Yeah, like he's wearing an Under Armour shirt. I don't know what brand he's wearing, but I think it makes it very relatable, is why the whole world's eyes are on this man, right? And listen, I feel for him. I'm not trying to say, I don't want to go help the people of Ukraine, but there's big decisions that come with that. If we go in there, all of a sudden we're the starting quarterback, right? If we win the game, it's on us. If we lose the game, it's on us, right? So now all the world's eyes are on us. So if we go in there and we make a bad decision, why does U.S. get involved in everything? If we go in there and everything falls according to place, when have you ever said that sentence with accordance to war? It's not going to go. There's going to be casualties. There's going to be people dying. We're going to have to put money into this. There's a lot more on the table.
Biden has put a lot of money into this, and he just promised another $800 million. So I do want to just state that.
That's a great, and like I said, I think there's a lot more going behind the curtain than we realize. But later on down the road, what if we need some sort of allyship from the Ukraine? Remember 2022 when we were under attack by Russia and you didn't step in? Sorry, USA.
Also,
there's a lot of repercussions from the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely, and don't forget the other part of this is the people of Russia. Right now, we're seeing people going on their television saying we don't want war, we don't want war. Well, what happens if a couple U.S. soldiers show up in your neighborhood? How do you feel then? That would be the quickest way to rally the Russian people for war, is for them to feel attacked by the outside world. So we have to understand that not only will we be sending a military over there that's been involved in a conflict in the Middle East for 20 years that is probably depleted more than we know. Yep. We would be sending a weakened army over there to now galvanize another country against us and against our narrative. Once you start pointing guns in people's neighborhoods, your feelings about the war are going to turn very quickly. And a motivated, unified Russia, I don't know if anybody wants that smoke.
That is a great point.